risk, penghargaan, jumlah dana kelolaan, biaya, hingga kinerja tahunan bagus dan stabil. Setelah itu, aku bikin rencana investasi untuk tujuanku sesuai prioritas. Aku tergolong investor dengan profil risiko agresif, karena berani pilih investasi dengan tingkat risiko lebih tinggi untuk dapetin return yang tinggi. Aku pilih beberapa jenis reksadana yang sesuai. Lalu, kutentukan alokasi aset di masing-masing reksadana. Jadi deh portofolio investasiku. Seiring waktu, komposisi alokasi asetku akan terus berubah, karena perubahan pasar. Supaya tujuanku tercapai, aku lakuin portofolio rebalancing secara berkala sesuai sisa waktu tujuanku. Sampai pada titik tujuan-tujuanku tercapai. Dimulai dari breakdown tujuan masa depan, tahu reksadana dan jenis-jenisnya, profil risiko, membuat portofolio investasi, hingga portofolio rebalancing. Well, seluruh langkah itu mengantarku ke titik ini. Yap, inilah ceritaku mencapai tujuan-tujuan hidup bersama reksadana. Menarik kan? Aku udah memulai reksadana. Tunggu apa lagi? Mulai dari sekarang, siap masa depan dengan reksadana. Reksadana, investasi tanpa batas.
Indonesian Decacorn Go2 is officially listed on Indonesia Stock Exchange. Good evening, it's Monday, April 11th, 2022. Market Atlas is ready to provide you information from business and economic with me, Wicky Adrian. This is Market Headlines. Manpower Minister stressed that companies must pay the 2022 Eid allowance to employees no later than 7 days before Eid. The minister reaffirmed that the provision of Eid allowance is an obligation that must be carried out by employers.
At a virtual press conference, Manpower Minister Ida Fauzia stressed that companies must pay the 2022 Eid allowance to their employees no later than 7 days before Eid. According to the minister, the Eid allowance payment is based on Government Regulation Number 36 of 2021 concerning salary provision and Ministerial Regulation Number 6 of 2016 concerning religious holiday allowance for workers or laborers in companies. She also reaffirmed that the provision of Eid allowance is an obligation that must be carried out by employers for their employees.
Pemberian THR keagamaan bagi pekerja atau buruh merupakan upaya untuk memenuhi kebutuhan pekerja atau buruh dan keluarganya dalam merayakan Hari Raya Keagamaan.
The Minister of Manpower has also set up a THR post to accommodate consultations and complaints related to the implementation this year. IDX Channel reports.
After allocating a budget of 6.95 trillion rupiah for cooking oil cash assistance, the government said it would accelerate the distribution of the cash assistance, which is targeted to be completed before Eid.
The government, through the Ministry of Finance, stated that it has prepared a budget of 6.95 trillion rupiah for cooking oil cash assistance, where this assistance will be distributed to more than 20 million beneficiaries.
Maaf, 6,2 triliun rupiah. 6,2 triliun rupiah untuk 20,65 juta keluarga yang selama ini sudah, yang tahun 2022 ini menerima PKH dan bansos pangan. Kemudian untuk program BLT Mikor untuk PKLW makanan itu kita berikan kepada 2,5 juta PKLW. Jumlah anggaran yang kita siapkan adalah 0,75 triliun.
Meanwhile, the Coordinating Ministry for Economic Affairs ensures that the distribution of cash assistance is no later than 1 week before Eid.
Bahkan paling lama kalau bisa 1 minggu sebelum Idul Fitri. Artinya apa? Kedua program ini betul-betul harus secara cepat dilakukan penyalurannya. Oleh karena itulah khusus untuk yang program BLT minyak goreng yang ada di rumpun BT PKLWN, kemarin kami sudah melakukan beberapa kali rapat teknis dengan teman-teman TNI, Polri, dan teman-teman juga Kemenkeu, BPKP, dan KL terkait. Bagaimana kita akan mendorong percepatan untuk penyaluran program BLT minyak goreng sebagai bagian dari program BT PKLWN ini.
The government explained that the purpose of distributing this cash assistance was to maintain purchasing power and ease the burden on the people, especially to buy cooking oil. IDX Channel reports.
President Joko Widodo emphasizes that the schedule for the general election had been set for February 14, 2024. Regarding that, the president asked his staff to explain to the public so that there will be no more wild speculation regarding the postponement of the election. We're sorry for that. Moving on to global update, Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan ousted in non-confidence vote. Meanwhile, the UN Food Agency said that world food prices jumped nearly 13% in March to a new record high. More stories on today's International Minute.
Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan has been ousted from power after losing a no-confidence vote in his leadership. The vote was held past midnight after opposition parties brought a motion against him, following days of drama. The motion was first brought against Mr. Khan last week, but he blocked it by dissolving parliament. Sunday's vote took place after the country's Supreme Court ruled in favor of opposition parties and said that Mr. Khan had acted unconstitutionally. The fundraising event in Poland yielded 1.8 billion euros to support internally displaced people inside Ukraine and 7.3 billion euros for refugees who have fled the country to neighboring states. Governments, companies and individuals together pledged 4.1 billion euros in donations, which will be distributed largely via the Ukrainian authorities or the United Nations. The remaining 5 billion euros were loans and grants from European Union financial institutions. The UN Food Agency said that world food prices jumped nearly 13% in March to a new record high. That's as the war in Ukraine caused turmoil in markets for staple grains and edible oils. Russia and Ukraine are major exporters of wheat, corn, barley and sunflower oil via the Black Sea. The Food and Agriculture Organization warned last month that food and feed prices could rise by up to 20% as a result of the conflict in Ukraine, also raising the risk of increased malnutrition. A SpaceX rocket ship blasted off carrying the first all-private astronaut team ever launched to the International Space Station, a flight hailed by industry executives and NASA as a milestone in the commercialization of low Earth orbit. Friday's flight is the second private charter for SpaceX. Arriving at the space station will be an American, Canadian and Israeli who run investment, real estate and other companies that are paying $55 million apiece for the rocket ride and accommodations, all meals included. IDX Channel reports.
Government says GoTo's market capitalization is equivalent to 2.8% of Indonesia's gross domestic product. After the break on market headlines.
aplikasi mClears hadir di handphone Anda untuk memudahkan transaksi Anda. Informasi aktivitas clearing dan penjaminan tidak lagi hanya dapat diakses melalui komputer di kantor Anda, melainkan dapat diakses di mana saja dan kapan saja dalam genggaman Anda. Fitur-fitur mClears. Equity clearing dan settlement adalah fitur di mana Anda dapat melihat posisi kewajiban settlement anggota clearing hingga nilai alternate case settlement serta informasi gagal bayar. Risk management adalah fitur di mana Anda dapat melihat posisi trading limit, kolateral, MKBD, portofolio harian, risk charge anggota clearing dan kombinasi, serta nilai minimum cash collateral. Derivatif adalah fitur di mana Anda dapat melihat posisi trading limit, margin call, dan informasi clearing derivatif. Terkait pinjam-meminjam efek, terdapat fitur mengenai borrowing information dan lendable pool information, serta lending revenue dan borrowing fee. Serta menu lain yang menampilkan informasi mengenai haircut, risk charge saham, dan nilai harga penyelesaian harian dan harga penyelesaian final. Selain itu, Anda juga dapat mengakses fitur pengumuman, peraturan, dan informasi layanan KPEI pada aplikasi mClears. Download aplikasi mClears di App Store atau Google Play Store. Lakukan registrasi user Anda dengan menggunakan alamat email berdomain resmi yang sesuai dengan anggota clearing Anda. Setelah registrasi, Anda akan diberikan kode OTP di email Anda untuk verifikasi, dan aplikasi mClears Anda siap untuk digunakan. Anda dapat mengakses seluruh menu pada aplikasi mClears dengan melakukan aktivasi berlangganan premium yang dapat dilakukan dengan memilih menu Get Premium. Download aplikasinya sekarang, lakukan registrasi, dan dapatkan kemudahan dalam genggaman tangan Anda. Kemudahan informasi KPEI dalam genggaman Anda.
Welcome back. After officially listed on the Indonesia Stock Exchange, CEO of GoTo, Andre Sulistyo, said that GoTo will increase its ability to achieve the company's mission while serving better all parties in the ecosystem.
GoTo or Gojek Tokopedia was officially listed on the Indonesia Stock Exchange on Monday, April 11, 2022. With this listing, GoTo became the first decacorn to be listed on the Asian exchange.
Pencatatan saham GoTo sangat dinantikan oleh para investor. Pencatatan perdana saham GoTo menjadi milestone penting, baik bagi perusahaan maupun bagi perjalanan industri pasar modal Indonesia. Melalui proses go public, GoTo menjadi perusahaan karya anak bangsa dengan ekosistem digital terbesar di Indonesia dan mampu menghimpun profit sebesar 13,7 triliun dan memiliki market capitalization mencapai 400 triliun rupiah.
Meanwhile, GoTo CEO Andre Sulistyo said through the IPO, GoTo will increase its ability to achieve the company's mission while serving better all parties in the ecosystem.
Saya berkomitmen untuk terus membangun dan mengembangkan perusahaan ini agar semakin berkontribusi terhadap negara dan tiap orang yang menjadi bagian dari ekosistem GoTo, tidak hanya untuk 5-10 tahun ke depan, tetapi untuk 100 tahun ke depan dan masa yang berkelanjutan.
Furthermore, Indonesia Stock Exchange hopes that GoTo's management can immediately realize the funds raised from the IPO while maintaining transparency and accountability after becoming a public company. IDX Channel reports.
The IPO of GoTo or Gojek Tokopedia on the Indonesia Stock Exchange was welcomed by various parties, especially by the government. The Coordinating Minister for Economic Affairs, Erlangga Hartarto, said that GoTo's market capitalization after the IPO of 400 trillion rupiah or equivalent to 2.8% of Indonesia's gross domestic product. GoTo's market capitalization value is even the fourth largest of all issuers listed on the Indonesia Stock Exchange. Erlangga hopes that GoTo's IPO will be a motivation for technology companies and startups from Indonesia to conduct IPO on the Indonesia Stock Exchange.
Dan sebagai referensi, IPO GoTo itu saya hitung kira-kira 2,8% dari PDB Indonesia. Jadi selamat. Dan ini menjadi tanda bahwa IPO perusahaan teknologi atau startup tidak perlu di luar negeri lagi. Tahap awalnya bisa di Indonesia dan setelahnya silakan pergi ke mancanegara.
The Ministry of Transportation plans to restrict logistics transportation operations during the 2022 Eid homecoming period. The restrictions are based on the potential for logistics transportation to hinder the flow of Eid homecomings on toll roads.
The Ministry of Transportation plans to restrict logistics transportation operations on toll roads during the 2022 Eid homecoming period. The Ministry of Transportation explained that these restrictions are based on the potential for vehicles or logistics transportation to hinder the smooth flow of Eid homecoming.
Akan kita berlakukan pembatasan kendaraan barang logistik tanggal 28-29 itu akan kita berlakukan pembatasan. Namun demikian sebetulnya pembatasan ini tidak berarti adalah pelarangan. Kadang kita berbeda ya. Ada yang mengatakan pelarangan untuk menggunakan jalan tol, tapi sebetulnya masih dibolehkan menggunakan jalan yang lain. Nah, kenapa demikian? Karena kita potensi pergerakan kendaraan pribadi dengan menggunakan jalan tol cukup tinggi sekali.
Based on the survey, the Ministry of Transportation predicts that there will be a surge in the number of vehicles on toll roads that have the potential to cause congestion. So there is a need for restrictive policies for certain categories of transportation. IDX Channel reports.
The Ministry of Industry proposes to increase the percentage of domestic market obligation or DMO of coal to 30%. This proposal is based on the increasing demand for coal, especially for industry. The Ministry of Industry revealed that domestic coal demand, both for the electricity sector and for the cement and fertilizer industry, has the potential to increase to 150 million tons. In addition to the DMO, the Ministry of Industry said that the coal price policy set by the government for industry was not felt by all industry players, especially by cement industry.
Mengingat kebutuhan dalam negeri untuk PLN, semen dan pupuk ini cukup tinggi karena untuk kemarin ini sampai dengan 150 juta ton, termasuk nanti kebutuhan-kebutuhan untuk industri yang lain. Tentunya ini setara dengan 30% DMO Bapak Ibu. Jadi kalau diizinkan kami berharap kita usulkan untuk presentasi DMO itu nanti bisa dinaikkan yang saat ini 20% bisa.
United Tractors will disburse dividends of 4.6 trillion rupiah on market headlines. We'll be right back.
Presidente della Repubblica di Indonesia.
Presidensi G20 di Indonesia akan mendorong upaya bersama untuk pemulihan ekonomi dunia dengan tema Recover Together, Recover Stronger. Kami akan menjamu Yang Mulia dan Bapak Ibu di hamparan pantai Bali yang indah yang menginspirasi gagasan-gagasan inovatif untuk produktivitas G20 ke depan. Sampai bertemu di Indonesia, terima kasih.
UMKM hanya akan dikenakan pajak final 0,5%.
Awali hari Anda dengan informasi dunia ekonomi yang diulas dari berbagai sudut pandang. Power Breakfast, Senin sampai Jumat, jam 8.30, hanya di IDX Channel. Perbincangan hangat tentang isu dan kebijakan ekonomi terkini yang diulas secara mendalam bersama narasumber terpercaya. Market Review, Senin sampai Jumat, jam 10 waktu Indonesia bagian Barat, hanya di IDX Channel. Women's Talk setiap Jumat pukul 12.30 hanya di IDX Channel.
A segment at the Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement earlier today. JCI was open at the level of 7,212, and then approaching the closing time of the session, the index was on the level of 7,241.02. Then the index was showing a weakening trend by the second session closing time. Index was closed at the level of 7,203.8. In short, JCI went down 0.1%. And next, we are going to see the sectoral movement leading the dynamics of today's trading. We got transportation and logistics as the leader of the strengthening trend. That went up 5.51%. Technology went up 0.97%. Basic went down 3.11%, and energy went down 1.95%. And this is the top gainers and top losers. Here are the key highlights from today's trading session. GoTo went up 13.02% to the level of 382 per share. Yatta went up 21.19% to the level of 286 per share. SRTG went up 8.26% to the level of 3,800 rupiah per share. Dewa went up 9.23% to the level of 71 rupiah per share. Meantime, the top losers for today's trading, we got ADMR went down 6.81% to a level of 2,600 rupiah per share. BBRI went down 0.87% to the level of 4,570 rupiah per share. BBCA went down 1.69% to the level of 7,725 rupiah per share, and MDKA went down 5.88% to the level of 5,200 rupiah per share. And this is the intraday move rupiah towards US dollar. Opened at the level of 14,365 rupiah, was also showing weakening trend towards the US dollar, was closed at the level of 14,378. In summary, rupiah went down 0.2%. United Tractors annual general meeting of shareholders decided to distribute 4.6 trillion rupiah dividends. The amount is equivalent to 45% of the company's net profit in 2021.
United Tractors decided to distribute dividends from its 2021 net profit. United Tractors Corporate Secretary Sarah Lubis said the company would pay a cash dividend of 1,240 rupiah per share, or 4.6 trillion rupiah. This value is equivalent to 45% of the company's net profit in 2021. Sarah said this dividend was included with an interim dividend of 335 rupiah per share, or 1.2 trillion rupiah, which was paid on October 22, 2021. Thus, the remaining amount to be paid was 950 rupiah, or equivalent to 3.4 trillion rupiah. Dividends will be paid on May 11, 2022. The remaining net profit will be recorded as retained earnings. As is known, United Tractors posted a net income of 79.5 trillion rupiah in 2021, an increase of 32%. The recovery of heavy based on financial reports as of December 31, 2021, Kalbar recorded net sales of 26.26 trillion rupiah, up 13.62% compared to 2020, which was 20.11 trillion rupiah. IDX Channel reports.
Throughout 2021, Lippo Karawaci posted a 38% increase in revenue to 16.53 trillion rupiah. The higher revenue came from real estate business line, which grew 36%.
Property issuer Lippo Karawaci posted a 38% increase in revenue in 2021 to 16.53 trillion rupiah. Lippo Karawaci CEO John Riyadi said the company's revenue increase in 2021 came from real estate development, which grew 36% to 4.41 trillion rupiah. In addition, pre-sales performance also continued to exceed the target. The pre-sales figure in 2021 reached 4.96 trillion rupiah. an increase of 86% year-on-year and 18% above the revised target of 4.2 trillion rupiah. Revenue from the health and other services business increased 40% during 2021 to 12.09 trillion rupiah from the previous 8.63 trillion rupiah. In addition, the decline in COVID-19 cases in fourth quarter of 2021 had a positive impact on malls, hotels, parking, and other company businesses. IDX Channel reports.
Prodia's annual general meeting of shareholders decided to distribute 60% of 2021 net profit as dividends. Prodia will distribute dividends amounting to 621.62 billion rupiah.
Clinical laboratory company Prodia Widya Husada held its annual general meeting of shareholders on Thursday, April 7, 2022. Prodia's annual general meeting of shareholders decided to distribute dividends from its 2021 net profit. Prodia's President Director Dewi Mulyati said Prodia will pay dividends of 60% of net profit in 2021, amounting to 621.62 billion rupiah. As is known, Prodia in 2021 scored a 41.6% increase in net income to 2.65 trillion rupiah, compared to the previous year of 1.87 trillion rupiah. Revenue from each customer segment also increased and contributed significantly to the company's revenue. The individual customer segment and doctors' referrals contributed about 33.8% and 31.4% respectively to the company's revenue. Meanwhile, the contribution of the third-party reference segment and corporate clients is around 21.2% and 13.6% to the company's revenue. IDX Channel reports.
And the news close market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, Your Trustworthy Economic, Business and Capital Market Channel. I'm Wicky Adrian. Have a nice evening.
Inspirasinya dari mana? Bisa yakin gitu untuk kita membentuk Home Care 24
karena satu panggilan jiwa ya. Di Indonesia belum ada menggeluti dunia bisnis health tech.
Jangan cuma ngelihat langit, tapi juga ingat bahwa kaki kita tuh masih di tanah gitu. Jangan cuma lihat cuan, tapi ingat masih ada risiko kerugian.
Apa yang bisa pelajari dari rugi? Karena kan pasti ada momen di mana seorang investor itu dia rugi, portofolionya itu merah.
Nomor satu banget yang paling penting disadari oleh pemula yaitu manajemen resiko. Investasi itu bukan untuk memenuhi kebutuhan hidup, harus tetap kerja. Trading untuk membantu kita mencapai tujuan hidup.
Jadi PT Paragon itu kan memang masih sebuah private company, jadi
tetap ada responsibility, saya setuju tadi.
Mendevelop tim, ya kan, what can I help you, empower gitu kan, gimana supaya prosesnya lebih efektif,
lebih bisa berkembang lagi, move-nya